I'm back. Time to make my second winter salad. And the first thing I'm going to do again is make the dressing. Now this is going to be a homemade ranch dressing. And no, this is not like that vinaigrette. It is not overly light, but I'd rather have a little bit of this homemade ranch dressing where I know what the ingredients in it are than a whole mess of store-bought ranch dressing, which if you look at the ingredient panel, you've got so many ingredients and some of them I can't pronounce. So I've got a cup of mayonnaise. It's not light mayonnaise, although you could use that. And a half a cup of sour cream, and again you could use light sour cream. And I'm just going to mix those two together. And then you're going to add 2 to 3 cloves of finely minced garlic. Depends on how garlicky you want it. And finely minced. It needs to be as fine as you can get it because it is raw. So I've got 3 here. We like garlic in our family. A half a teaspoon of Worcestershire. A teaspoon of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. Go ahead and mix that up. And then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of black pepper. A quarter teaspoon of salt. You don't need a lot of salt because there is salt in the mayonnaise, there's salt in the Worcestershire. And an eighth to a quarter of teaspoon of ground paprika. Now, one of the nice things about this ranch dressing, you can doctor it up and make different kinds of ranch dressing. If you switched your paprika for smoked paprika and a little bit more of the Worcestershire, you'd end up with a smoky ranch dressing. It's really good on a salad with roast beef or steak and blue cheese and black olives and cucumbers. I call that my black and blue salad. You can add Parmesan to this and get a creamy garlic Parmesan ranch. Okay, so that's that. Next step is going to be our herbs. I have a few sprigs of fresh thyme. I'm just going to strip the leaves off. And all you have to do is pull downward and they'll come off. And then the very top you can just pinch. And one of the secrets to this dressing really is using as much fresh herb as you can get. I tend to have them in the fridge all the time, so it's easy, but you could substitute dry herbs if you had to, or you can do a mix of fresh and dry, whatever you have on hand. Okay, and then to that, I've got about a teaspoon of chopped fresh basil and a quarter cup of chopped fresh parsley. Now I measured this after I chopped it up because it's probably a half of a cup of fresh parsley, but by the time you chop it, it's down to a fourth. And I'm just going to put that all together on the board and give it a finer dice, especially to get that thyme. There's so little thyme. I'm talking the herb. There's such a small amount of thyme in here that if you mix it in with the other herbs, it actually helps you to chop that thyme up so you don't get any big pieces in your dressing. So that's nice and finely chopped. And we're going to put that into our mayonnaise mixture. And you can vary this up, especially if you're forced to use dried herbs. You could make it more with dill or tarragon. I've even added shredded cucumber to this and made a cucumber dressing. So that's how easy it is to make your own ranch dressing. I have some clients, and no matter what they're ordering for office parties, it always includes a big salad with this ranch dressing, fondly known as their office crack. So that's it for our dressing. And now we're going to get ready to assemble our salad. To assemble our salad, I've cut up some of that beautiful romaine. And now I'm going to prep our pear. Now you can eat the skin of pears, but often they're very tough, so I am going to actually peel this pear. And you can use any kind of pear you want. This happens to be an Anjou pear. And you can see it's quite juicy. That's going to make a wonderful addition to the salad because you want to have different flavors and textures. So this will be sweet and juicy. You got crunchy lettuce. We're also going to have some crunchy walnuts. I just took some raw walnuts, put them in a plain non-stick pan, no oil or anything, and just toasted them up for a couple of minutes. And the rule of thumb is when you can smell the nuts, they're done. They can burn very quickly, so don't walk away. So we're going to cut this pear up. Probably just use half of this. And it is sliding around the board because, as I said, it's quite juicy. And I'm just going to cut this into chunks and sprinkle it onto my salad. I'm making one for myself and one for my husband. I'll probably have mine with the vinaigrette that we made with the last salad. He'll probably have his with the ranch. So a half a pear is pretty good for those two salads. I'm going to clean this up, be right back. Next we're going to add some ham from the deli. You can choose your favorite kind, honey ham, brown sugar ham. You can do the Virginia ham, but be aware that the Virginia ham is a little bit saltier. So I'm going to just take 2 slices of this and cut it into strips. Now I did get honey ham because that's our favorite. And then I think I'll go across just to make them not so big. And just spread them out onto our salad. So now we got salty as well. So we got sweet and juicy from our pear. We got salty from our ham. And that's also our protein, of course. Okay. And then I've got some little bits of brie that I had left over in the fridge. I'm just going to cut those into small chunks and sprinkle them onto the salad. Brie goes very well with pears or ham, so this could be substituted into the winter salad we made in an earlier episode. Just a little bit on this salad, and it's creamy and sweet, and of course a little bit fatty. So we're kind of hitting all those taste buds with these salads. Okay, so we have our brie. And the next thing is going to be to chop up our nuts, and then we'll continue. So I took about a cup of walnuts and toasted them in our pan, as I said, and I'm just going to chop those up a little bit. I don't want giant chunks, but I don't want them finely diced. And we're just going to sprinkle some of those onto our salad. Or you can just break them with your hand if the chunks are too big. Need a few more. Alright, and that's a nice crunchy, earthy taste there. And we're going to chiffon on some basil. Now the basil's in the ranch dressing, so this kind of ties it together. And if you don't know what chiffonade is, it just means to cut into fine strips. So just stack your leaves of basil, roll them up, and then cut them as fine as you can. Because you just want a hint of basil, you don't want a great big mouthful. that on top. So that'll give it just a little herbiness, of course. And there you have our second winter salad. We have ham, pear, walnuts, and brie. You could add some chopped dried apricots to this if you want a little extra flavor, and the chewiness of the dried apricots is nice, and they're actually very good for you, loaded in vitamins. So a second winter salad. Keep those resolutions going, and see you next time.